Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm talking about the moon trine or sextile to Pluto in the natal chart. So it's really important to talk about the trine and sextile aspects in our chart because we so often focus on the things that are really hard, the stressful, challenging aspects, but the more that we focus on our trines or our sextiles, the more that we can bring them to life, because without focus or without a little bit of effort, sometimes these gifts that I truly believe are gifts or good karmas that we've carried over from previous lifetimes can be missed. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the moon trine or sextile to Pluto in the natal chart. And I'll differentiate the two as well in this video, but they're pretty similar themes. And also, even though these are considered the easy aspects, it is still potentially challenging or definitely challenging to have the moon and Pluto in any aspect, because you are seeking emotional connections that are so deep, and the way that your emotional body works or functions is in such a way that it's like almost like too deep for the superficialities of this world. So you'll notice moon Pluto people, and even people with moon Pluto and trine or sextile, that they just don't always feel connected to like the normal side of life. So they can feel a bit outcasted because of the way that they see the world through this lens that's kind of like microscopic and like focusing on like what's truly meaningful. And that'll also be shown by the sign of the moon and Pluto, and like what their focus really is. But there's like a depth and a probing intensity to them emotionally and relationally, like with people, that can definitely, even with this aspect, we can still see a bit of the kind of Pluto moon lone wolf archetype here. So that's one thing. There's a lot I'm going to talk about with this aspect, but the first thing that I'll say is there is a lot of psychic ability here, as with all of the moon Pluto aspects. Now, with the trine or the sextile, it's less likely that these psychic impressions are going to be damaging or confusing for the person. It's more just like a natural way of life to be very intuitive, and they also have a really good sense of like what other people need emotionally, so they can actually end up being a little bit manipulative with this trine or sextile, because they really understand people well, and they might not even realize that not everybody has this level of psychological insight into other people. But if they do realize it, they can really use that to their advantage. And like, they know how to put people emotionally at ease. They know how to get other people's secrets out, like make people feel safe to share their secrets, and like do it in such a way that the person won't even realize they're sharing their secret. So you would definitely say people with this aspect have really good people skills, as far as like work in therapy or work in any type of healing profession where people feel really safe with you, people feel really able to be vulnerable with you. But it does come with like, they need to have their motivations coming from a place of integrity, because you could have this trine or the sextile with other aspects to the moon that are quite harsh, and then they can like use this gift to manipulate, or so there's still the tendency, even though this is like the easy aspect, where we can still see kind of a plutonic person here who's very manipulative, dominating, and also too so I will talk about the positive things of the trine or sextile to moon and Pluto, because there is a lot. But I also feel like, in my experience, what I've seen is that emotionally, with the trine or the sextile, if there's other hard aspects to the moon already, the trine to Pluto or the sextile to Pluto, specifically the trine even more so because it's more powerful, but it can bring up this high level of emotional intensity. So like if there's like a moon Saturn square already, then it turns into this like heavy, deep, like terrifying plutonic thing. And the tricky thing about the trine or the sextile is that they have less insecurity about themselves and about their emotions than the people with the hard aspects, because the people with the hard aspects have this just like unbearable energy within themselves that forces them to look within and like go to therapy or, you know, do some healing work of some kind, right? But with the trine or the sextile, we think we have an easier handle on the emotions, but we still have that same level of emotional intensity and plutonic feelings, and you know, we have the same like triggers and stuff, but usually it's not a problem, so we don't deal with it until, you know, something comes, some sort of transit brings it up, and then it's like we have the same level of plutonic intensity to Pluto moon, but because we've kind of taken the easy way out, we don't have self-awareness, or we don't have like the tools to truly like calm the emotional body. Now that's just like one potential, and you know, that's not going to happen every single time, but it's just something that I've noticed with trines is that they can be kind of lazy, and they definitely show gifts, but trines to Pluto can still be very challenging, and specifically the moon trine to Pluto can show that emotionally we do have some issues to work out, but because of the relative ease in emotional expression and our skills with people and how like liked we are, and like it's like we can avoid doing the real deep work that we might still need to do if our moon has other afflictions going on or other harsh aspects, right? So, but anyways, we'll talk about the positive, because yeah, this is a very favorable aspect, and I do believe like this person has potentially spent lifetimes studying psychology or studying people, studying the emotions, studying you know, plutonic themes, death, transformation, developing their psychic abilities, or even like occult like abilities, like working with, like you could even see this in someone who like has been a witch in another lifetime, or like a magician, or like these like there's something very yeah, much like that about their energy field that's like a carryover from a previous lifetime. So they have great spiritual gifts and abilities, and it's almost so natural to them that they might think it's not a big deal. They might think, well, oh, doesn't everybody just like have this like depth of understanding of humanity and psychology like me? And no, like people don't. And so it's really important to highlight that it is a gift, and these people are like a natural healer, and you know, they have this natural way with people, and like I said, making people feel emotionally safe, making people do things. Like I said, it can border on even having like manipulative powers, but yeah, there's also a real like warmth to these people, though. It's definitely like they care about people, and like usually they care about people, and there is like mothering ability. Of course, it's like, you know, a more scorpionic kind of mothering, but they definitely have a gift with women. You could see men with this aspect being very adept at dealing with women's emotions, and you know, things that aren't usually, you know, common knowledge for men, like they just really have an understanding of women, and like they're not going to run from a woman like who's emotional or something. Like, you know, a woman, I'm just thinking of like a woman's cycle. Like men with the moon trine or sextile Pluto are very comfortable with like, okay, you know, she's in this phase, and they get that, right? They're not like afraid of women. They face them head on, and they like, I don't want to say stand up to them, because this isn't like a aggressive aspect or anything, but like they don't shy away from some of the more darker aspects of female sexuality or like the female body. You know what I mean? They're not going to be grossed out by like, ooh, she's bleeding or on her period or something like that. Like, but, and also, women with this aspect in their chart are more comfortable with their feminine nature as well. And, they might have to go through a transformation of that early on, but with the trine of the sextile, it's like they learn early on how to be comfortable with their maternal instincts, with their feminine energy, with their moon energy, the lunar energy, which is like the feminine cycle, right? So there still could be problems with that, like I said, because you could have this trine or this sextile, and then you could have moon squaring a bunch of other planets in the chart, and then we could still see like cycle problems. But like with this trine or this sextile, we could see that like the feminine cycle, like fertility and like being comfortable in that. And also like there is something very cyclical about these people. Like they understand, and that's part of their gifts with people, is like they understand the right timing of things, right? Because when you think about it, like timing and astrology and like the female body, this is all very cyclical energy. This is all very much to do with death and rebirth. And like astrologically we have the certain cycles, right? Like the start of Aries, that's technically the astrological new year, that's like the new beginning. And like people with the moon trine or sextile Pluto, it's like even just unconsciously, like even before they learn about these things, they just get it. Like they get this deeply. And so that really contributes to their sense of timing that is so accurate. And like, so that's how they can be very skilled with people, is like they know the right time to plant the seed, or they know the right time to be just more super direct and confrontational, or to step back. And like, so there's a great skill at, and that's all part of like putting other people at ease too, is like knowing the timing of things and like the cyclical nature. And like and this can work for their own life as well, and their own like emotional energy to build success and build a happy life, because the moon is all about what makes us truly emotionally fulfilled. And so these people, and they might not realize it because the trine of the sextile, it's so natural, it's like we might not even realize we have this gift. They have excellent manifestation powers because they know they know the right timing of things, and then also their emotional energy is in line with Pluto's power of transformation. So they can be excellent manifestors. Like when they envision something, it comes to fruition. And they also, because they have this trust in timing, they don't rush and like go and pull the plant out of the ground before it's like been born, right? Like that saying, like they give it time, they plant the seed, they wait for it to bloom. And there's just a more trust in that natural cycle of things when we have the moon trine or sextile to Pluto. So it's a very incredible aspect to see. You can see it in people too that have just like a really great rapport with the public. Like they easily attract fame, especially if like moon is like moon is in 10th or Pluto's in 10th or first, or in a more public kind of like house. We're gonna see these people attracting a lot of attention. And even though the moon is not necessarily like a sexual planet, because it's our emotional planet, I also do feel like it is a part of our aura. So there is something sexy about moon Pluto people. And people with moon trine or sextile Pluto, they do naturally have a charisma. They do naturally have a sexiness to them, although it is more feminine because the moon is a feminine planet. So it is like I said, it's a more like emotional rapport that they have with people, but still it offers a lot of charisma. And it can definitely show that they just have a great magnetic influence wherever they go, and it's not as hard for them to be liked by people as, there's more relational conflicts in like the square or the conjunction or the opposition of moon Pluto, where we see people reacting to us in a very strong way that's like love or hate us. With this, it's more like you can see people with this aspect like be liked by almost everybody, which is crazy. And that might seem crazy, but like they're likable, right? And you could have other things going on that would show that that's not true, but it just definitely gives a power and like a captivating influence and like a mothering energy that is soothing but also transformative. So like your moon Pluto friend or your moon Pluto partner, they don't let you stay the same if you are stagnant, if you are hurting yourself. They help you almost effortlessly become a better version of yourself. And that's also what they do for themselves as well. They don't let themselves stay down in the dumps for too long unless they're, like I said, they're lazy and they haven't, learned any tools to deal with their emotions. But usually they're going to be, more in flow with like the transformations, and like, their depression comes up and they don't let it stay there. They want to live. They have a zest for life. They have this like desire to heal and transform, and it's just something that usually is going to work out easier for them. They're just able to flow with that and go through the deaths and rebirths of life, go through many emotional things, because that's the thing with the moon trine or sextile Pluto. You're still going to go through the hard times. There's still going to be relational challenges. There's going to be intense relationships. There's going to be things that really bring them to their knees emotionally, but it's like they are so resilient and they're so like a natural warrior of the emotions that nothing will keep them down for too long, and they just keep on going, and people notice that, and people are like, wow, wish I could be like them. And they hold a lot of power over other people. Like, people are captivated by them and by their energy, and they really would do well to like realize how powerful their energy is, because this might not be something that's conscious. So yeah, what else? The trine aspect is going to be more powerful, a lot more natural. You want to look at the element that this is flowing in. So like in air signs, that is more, relational, as far as like in a more lighter sense, like friends, acquaintances. Water, that's going to show up more in like in-depth emotional connections. Fire in inspiration and being like super creative and having like a strong intuition. And earth, it's probably going to be a skill with resources, or even just the body too, like being super grounded, being like that one that people lean on for grounding and support. It's snowing right now outside so much, you guys. Look at this. This is the first time that it snowed this year. I'm from close to Vancouver, BC, Canada. Usually we have a little bit more snow than this. It's February 1st. We haven't even had a snowfall yet, but we don't get a lot of snow here. A lot of people think that because I'm in Canada that it's like just like so freezing, and it is like that in some of the other provinces, but in BC it's not really that cold. We're more rain. It's rainy here. But anyways, I just thought that was interesting. Wow, snow. First time of the year. Maybe that's something for you guys, you moon, Pluto, trine, and sextile people. Maybe you brought about the natural cycle of the weather there. But yeah, okay, so the trine is more like that. And then the sextile is something that's going to take a little more effort to activate, but it also is more relational in general. Like the moon, Pluto, trine people have this more like self-contained energy, and the moon, Pluto, sextile people have like even like doubled like what I said about the social skills and like working with other people. But they're both very good. They're both gonna have you know, mostly all of these major themes. That's why I group them together. Yeah, what else? People with moon sextile Pluto definitely have a very strong charisma with other people as well, and can be, yeah, they're just really good at getting inside your mind and emotions and bringing it all out of you and then soothing it. It's a gift that they have. And yeah, this video is getting kind of long, so anyways, I guess that's it. I think psychic ability, ability to work with people really well, psychological insight, uh, spiritual or occult gifts or knowledge coming from past lives, high level of emotional intensity that's usually kept under control. I have this bad cough, so I keep stopping the video when I have to cough. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, you guys. Thanks for your requests. Keep those requests coming, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.